This meeting is being recorded.
All right, there we go. So I figured we would start off with some introductions. I know the dreaded introductions. But so my name's Roxanne. I guess this is most of our first semester at Athens, but so my major is Homeland Security. I'm currently in Texas right now, so I'm in the Alabama National Guard, but I got pulled on orders to come out here in El Paso. I am a victim advocate, so I help soldiers that need assistance as far as when it comes to like sexual assault and sexual harassment. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I guess I'll pass it on to Kristen.
Okay, I'm Kristen. I'm casual look today. We just came from grocery shopping.
I know. I've been outside.
Nice to meet y'all. I'm actually back at Athens State. I was here several years ago and then took a break. I am about 25 years into getting my degree after several years break. So my major is healthcare administration, which is what I do currently. I just want to get my degree to kind of open some more doors. I have a husband, 2 stepkids, and a full-time job. So my plate is very full. I don't know what my screen is saying, something weird. And this is my first group project via Zoom and not in a live class. So this is a whole new experience. So Roxanne, I appreciate you kind of getting us all organized and ready to go.
Thanks. Yeah, I've always used Teams. I've never used Zoom. So hopefully we work this out.
And yeah, with the job I'm in, I'm not always available during the daytime. So if you guys reach out and I don't answer immediately, I will get back to you like as soon as I can get to my phone. So you can reach me better like on the evenings, on the weekends, if there's something we need to look at for the project. Just know I'm kind of out of touch during the day. Okay. Am I still echoing or am I better?
No, it sounds clear now.
Okay. All right. That's me.
Well, I'm Rachel. It says on my thing, Beverly, but I go by Rachel. I am a PE coach. I work at an elementary school here in Killen. We moved here about 11 years ago. I was in political science at Auburn out of high school. I was going to be a lawyer. Met my husband and we moved. And so it was my senior year when we moved, and you know, you move on, and I just never went back. I worked and then I stayed at home with the kids and thought about going back and thought, well, now I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So I worked in a special ed classroom for a few years, children with behavior. Love that. They said, hey, Rachel, you need a break. You've been beat up now for 3 years. You need a break. You love outside. You want to go to PE? And I said, sure, I'll do PE. I love PE. So one of our coaches decided that he's going to retire in the next couple of years. And I thought, well, I think I know what I want to be when I grow up. So I want to be him. So I love other people's children, surprisingly. Never thought I did, but apparently I do. It's actually hard for me to take off for the summer because I get bored. I miss the kids. So I am back at this. The last time I was in school was 1996. So I am. Kristen, when you were talking about paper formats, I thought, if you even know what these formats mean, you know, my kids I'm used to, if you give me elementary questions, I've got you. But once my kids got into high school, they've just figured it out. And I have a college student and a 10th grader. So I don't even know what I can research. I can look it up. I love the information and I can word it. But now these paper formats, I have no idea.
Well, good. We're in the same club.
Yeah, I can write a 9th grade paper, but
yeah.
So I'm figuring this all out, and I'll be honest, it's been a struggle because it's all new, and I'm not a fan of having undone things and things hanging over my head, and so it's just been a stress. But I only have 11 classes today to get finished, so
There you go.
that's good.
It seems like we all kind of like took a break and then finished, because I started like 10 years ago. Because life happens.
Yes.
And then I was like, I have got to finish this. So yeah, I think we're in the same boat as far as like taking that pause and getting back with it. As far as the papers, I suck at papers, but I have a little bit more experience because they make you, surprisingly enough, they make you write a lot of papers in the Army. Army papers are a little bit different, but I have wrote an APA paper a couple of times. So I'm going to pull up my outline. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I can still see. Okay, so we got done with introductions, but so we do need a note taker, and then we need an editor. And I think Kristen, did you say that you were going to be a note taker?
I can do either or. It's fine as long as I don't have to write the paper.
Yeah, so we're all going to do that
Right.
together, I guess. But
Yeah.
Now, Rachel, is that okay with you, or?
Yeah, I mean, Kristen, I'm off. So let me take something off of you. Would that
Okay.
make it easier for you if I did the note taking?
That's fine. And then I can help with the editing. That's fine.
And I can help. I mean, either way,
Sure.
I would love to take any burden off of you since you are working full time.
Yeah.
So whatever would help you out.
And that
Sure.
makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I volunteered to be the leader, honestly, only because I was like, I have got to get out of my comfort zone and do it. Like, I really don't want to do it at all, but I was like, I got to get out of my comfort zone. It kind of just forced me to. And then this week I've had a very slow week at work because unfortunately I had a training that started at 5 a.m. online. So I got done super early. So, but okay. So we'll have Rachel be the note taker.
Okay. And so since from now on, the next 2 Zoom meetings, I'll schedule them so I can record them. Does that sound good?
So actually, I was talking to that with Kristen before we started.
Okay.
The recording process is, I'm not gonna lie, it's super complicated. So you have to have a YouTube account. You have to upload it to YouTube. You have to convert the links. Like it's ridiculously complicated. So so I'm going to record it. I'm going to do all the conversions, and I'm just going to give you the link, and then you can handle it from there. Because when I tell you, it took me like a minute to figure out, because you have to convert it to YouTube. You have to upload it to the next site. You have to get that link, and then so I'll handle that part.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we have Rachel being the note taker, Kristen being the editor. And then
we'll just know that we'll all help each other.
Absolutely. Like 100%. There were some additional, I tried to condense this whole entire assignment into one spot to try to make it easier, at least for the explanation of what the assignment is. So this is what all this is below. It's still like 5 pages. So, okay. So do we want any additional roles? I feel like some of the additional roles are just going to come out like organically when we're doing our research. So unless somebody wants an additional role, I think that we're good as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. Thank you very much.
Let's not make it more complicated.
I know. Okay. Once we've discussed our roles, the video part, we already discussed that. So I created because now since we all have Google because of the other assignments, I opened up a file in my Google Drive. That way we can all put some stuff in there, and then we can edit that as we go. If you know how you can make comments into like a Google document. So there's a link for that, which I'll provide y'all. So as far as communication, I know we have tons of emails. Does anybody have like a preferred method? Or do we think just the group chats and then?
Yeah, for me, I mean, the texting is easiest for me. And I'll just keep up with our texting and put it on the discussion board. And then we can comment on there. So at least it looks like, you know, because I know there was a comment on there. If it's not on the discussion board, it didn't happen. So any texting that we do, I'll just make note of in the notes on the discussion board that this was discussed. And then if y'all see it and you get on there and you're like, yep, that's what we talked about, you know, just so it looks like we're all participating. Does that sound good to you? But if we need to know something quick and fast and in a hurry, we can just text each other and I'll make a note of it. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
Right.
no, that sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
And then while we're here though, because of the Google, it's easier if I get all of your Gmail addresses. So if you could like put that in the
Okay.
chat, and then I'll get it at the end. And that way, if I need to share anything, I'll probably email it to your Athens State and your Google. Does everybody use Gmail as like your primary email?
Yeah.
I don't, but that's okay. I
Okay.
have a Gmail, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just do that for things that aren't like text messages. And then it helps if we're all going to be using that share file in the Google Drive. Oh, and then also as far as the discussion board, if you read over the discussion board, I might have already made an the person that is the designated note taker has to be the one that creates the discussion thread, and I already created it. So I don't know if that's that big of a deal, but you might need to create another one that's like says like the actual discussion thread, and we just not use the other one because you can't delete it either after you make one. So
Yeah, I'll just do a new thread, which even the discussion board confuses me also. If I'm not doing it right, y'all let me know. But I'll just do a new thread and call it, you know, and I've got notes over here too where it says it has to be called a certain thing, has to be titled a certain way. So I'll just start a new thread and I'll title it that, and I'll kind of put in there what we've discussed so far via text messaging, and then I'll attach this link on here too. So
Okay. Did you change the name of that other thread? That was the only reason I did that other thread, Roxanne, was to put the contact, whatever it was, we're supposed to have the first
yeah,
one.
I don't know if you can change the title of the discussion thread.
I think so.
Oh, that might be great because then I could just put don't use this one.
Okay. Because I think that was the only reason that I created that second one, just was so it had the correct title. That was the only reason I did it.
Okay,
put all
so
our
then I'll go
contact-
back and change that because I can't delete it. But yeah, if I could change the
I
title
haven't
of that
looked,
one.
so I don't know if y'all have done something since then. I haven't looked.
No, and then it's
Going for that.
yeah, so the note taker is responsible for all of the notes from each session, but also I guess everything that we've done team wise has to be put in there too. And then we'll just take a look at what you've put, and then if there's any, I would prefer if we were, you know, like you said, that like if we do agree that we need to put down that we agree, that way there's no question about it later that, hey, yeah, I agree, this is what happened.
Just
Okay.
make some kind of little comment that makes it known that we're all in this.
Yeah, and then okay.
So
And then
did
we
I
have,
read it correctly that each person still also has to have their own copy, like notes? Did I see that in there somewhere? Like, I know there's the group copy, and then there's also each person has to turn in a copy of notes of
You
what was
broke
done.
up for just a second for me.
let me see.
What did you say, Kristen? It's paused for a second.
Sorry. I thought I saw something in there that each person is also responsible for turning in notes.
I don't.
Yeah, that's what, it's so much to go through, but yeah,
is.
so, yeah, so it's important to track your work and your teammates' work.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah,
oh
so
my
we
God.
have to do, so there's gonna be that discussion thread of each meeting, and then there's also gonna be, so we all individually have to have our own assessments of what we did. Let me
Yeah.
read
And then we
this.
have our master notes, and then we each have our own notes.
I think so. Let's see, create a Word document on your computer as you or a teammate updates a major piece of the project, jot down a quick note, summarize it. Yeah, so essentially we all need to have our own individual notes of what each person did. So I guess towards the end, they're gonna just make sure that all of our notes kind of like match what each other did.
Oh, I guess to say, because it says as part of the grading, each person's summary of their teammates will be checked against the other summaries. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm
So
glad
we
you
don't
brought
write
that.
out like, so I'm assuming in
So-
this, our individual, we could say we had our Zoom meeting, we assigned this, Roxanne recorded the video, she's gonna send the link. I mean, it doesn't have to be like detailed as much, right, on that copy?
It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like we're basically taking notes to prove that I said I did all this, but you may take notes that says she really didn't do all of this. So it's basically at the end, they want what you said happened with Roxanne and I to be what Roxanne and I said happened.
Oh my
It's what
goodness.
that last line reads to me, is that they want our notes of each
Yeah.
other to corroborate what we said we did.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have our notes from Rachel that says this is what we did. to compare
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So Rachel's
that's
got
my-
notes.
That's my kitty cat.
Yeah, so Rachel takes
away.
notes, we all take notes, we make, our notes need to match each other's notes, and there's no cheating. Got it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had read that
No,
correct.
I'm glad you did, because I
I
kind
know.
of just forgot about that part. So, yeah,
So
sorry, this was my-
is that something I guess we need to do as we go, or is that something at the end we
It
just?
seemed probably as we go,
Yeah.
because it's going to be hard to remember what we did in the beginning. So every time, probably after this meeting, Rachel would take her notes. Honestly, after this meeting, we all need to take notes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so, we only have to have the 3 virtual meetings, but we still have an assignment due next week as far as the outline and everything else after that. So there's still going to be, I would say, each week, some type of notes of, Rachel assisted with the outline.
Right.
Or something.
Where we are. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess every week we probably need to be, keeping up with our own little note document.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully this makes sense. I'm gonna be honest, I tried to understand this as much as possible before this meeting, and it's hard.
That's what I did. I sat and looked over it, and
Yeah.
I just, yeah, it's, I actually, and if they if they watch our recording, they already know. One of those little phase, whatever, the Google Doc, it was, what would you do differently? And I may have been frustrated that week. So
Yeah. No, and
what
I'm
I
sure
did
they,
differently.
I'm sure
Yeah.
this isn't the first time that they've heard it. It's so much to read through to make sure that you don't miss anything really important. So,
Yeah.
And it's good. It seems like all three of us are really detail oriented. So it's good that all three sets of eyes are on it to make sure we get all the little.
Mhm. Yeah, we might
Okay.
need to just go
Okay.
through this whole thing and make sure that we really understand. So we already understand the roles. Let me make sure I didn't skip anything. The communication summary. So we talked about the communication thread that has to be on there. All group communication must be documented in the summary in order to receive credit. Understand that the group secretary, which is going to be Rachel, is going to be documenting all the communication. And then we can add to the documentation as needed. So,
If I leave something out, y'all go through there and say,
Yeah.
oh, we did.
and then that could be honestly just like a comment on there, hey, also this happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so transparency, if we disagree, we'll state that. I think we understand about the disagreement part, but so what needs to be documented in those is summary of all communication, documentation of emails, screenshots of text messages, and links to recording, which we talked about. Okay, the recording.
I'm not screenshotting every text message. So
Right,
there's too
but just
many.
just the important ones if needed.
Yeah.
And I feel like as long as you outline directly, like, we initiated contact, set
Right.
up the first meeting, I think that's enough.
Which she's seen that we've talked because she commented on my
Yeah,
initial
because I had
thread that
sent
was-
an email
Yeah.
because I couldn't find that guy whatsoever. And I was like, I don't want to like leave him out, but we're about to just like exclude him because I can't find him. But
Yeah.
so Zoom recordings. I'm gonna skip over this because I figured this part out. So all right, so we have the rubric. So probably need to start talking about our topics, but we have, so it's just 5 paragraphs and 3 sources, APA or MLA. If y'all don't have a preference, I've done APAs before. But yeah, so group contract. Did you see where we have to do that group contract?
Yeah, I've
yeah.
done mine.
So
I
I've done the
think.
test. I didn't upload. So we
Yeah.
do individually have to like upload this, and we have to do each of it ourselves. We have to
Oh,
submit
no, I
one.
didn't see that.
Yeah,
I'm glad
so
you
there
did.
is when you go back to the module 8, there is this team contract. So it's not just the quiz, you need to upload this as well. So we all just need to make sure that we do that.
Yeah, there's just so much. I keep, you flip flop around and you think, okay, I think I've got it all. And then
Yeah, I didn't find out about this contract until this morning. When I went through it again, I thought it was just the test. I did not see this. So yeah, so this is all, we do this part on our own. So see, I don't see, are we each submit our own? We might need to fill this out together though, because this has structure and stuff like that. I might need to see how much time we have because I don't know how long we've been.
It's 3:26, so
20 minutes. Okay. Or less than 20 minutes. Okay.
So I think we need to, sorry, let me get my dog out of the way. Move, Jack. No, Jack. So I think probably if you guys want to look at the topics.
Yeah. So if we have time, we'll go through that contract together, but we each individually have to send that. So the topics are, well, I don't know.
it was online and
Yeah, online school.
card debt.
I
credit
thought
card
I put
debt.
the topic option on there. So credit card,
Credit card debt,
Social
online
media.
learning, and social media.
yeah. So do we have like a preferred? I mean, we're all doing online school right now, so I guess we all have that in common. We all have credit, like everybody has a credit score, whether or not it's 0. So I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a break from social media for a while. So,
Yeah, no, I feel like it would be a lot to talk about as far as social media, like the pros and cons, but
Yeah.
yep.
and then, but then, I wouldn't be fond of the credit card debt because I just feel like that would be difficult to talk about. But either, the social media or the online school one would be fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I guess
Yeah,
we
we
take
are.
a vote.
We're all really familiar with the online school right now too.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Okay. I guess.
Well, and I guess the whole credit card debt, to me, there's so many angles. You'd have to decide what angle am I going at this, on how to budget, how to reduce your credit card debt, how to not have, what angle
Yeah.
are, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So do we want to
Or
do
debt.
online learning?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then we both know that, all know that, we're gonna get 2 grades. We'll get a grade for the essay and then we'll get a grade for our group, presentation, contract, and then tracking progress. Okay, so I think we talked about everything important. But next week we do have to finish our thesis statement and our outline. And I took a look at like what they had in there as far as notes. And so there is like an example of a thesis statement. And then we do, the outlines. Obviously, you create your thesis statement. And then so we'll have a thesis statement, introduction paragraph, our 3 topics, and then our body. So that's going to be due next week. We'll have to do the rough draft and then, the final essay. So I think at this point, kind of figure out where we go from here.
Well, and what do we want? Again, we still have to have kind of an angle. What kind of angle do we want online learning of how the pros and cons, or I guess, what do we want our thesis statement to be? So that way, we may want to talk about that, because I don't want you to be working on that by yourself.
Yeah, and that honestly, I hate to say it, I feel like we should have another entire meeting on the outline, is kind of how I feel about it, because that's where we want to go with it. But we only have 2 minutes left on this recording.
Yeah.
I agree. Why don't we do that?
agree.
Meet one day. I'm good at this. We do this every week. So
Yeah.
So would you?
But we would probably want to do it earlier in the week so that we
I
could get started.
know.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the outline like right now? Just start another meeting?
sure.
I think it would only, I don't think that an outline would take, we're just going to be kind of doing like a
bullet point.
Yeah, and just kind of
idea.
like a
Mhm.
little outline, just a couple of little brainstorming. I don't think it would take anything, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Because are you guys thinking each of us maybe do a paragraph? We just agree on the thesis statement and then each of us take a paragraph at this point, or a subject,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So
yeah. Because we don't want to wait until the end of the week next week meeting.
Yeah, and I honestly, I'd like to get things done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you got like 8 minutes. I can just, if we end the meeting, and then that way the recording will stop, and then get back on here. And then let me, would that work real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna end and then get back on here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grab a notebook so I can kind of keep up with what our
There you go.
topics and stuff.
Yeah.
Sound
Okay.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna end this. I don't know. I don't need it. That's fine. Oh, cancel. I need to end for everybody.